welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I just pinned the link, dropped the link for those who wish to join the conversations today. Today is another day. Praise be. Some might even say, where to go? Some might even say Talcott Tuesday. Blessings and love sincerely. My appreciation to all of you who are joining in. Shut up, we're trying to chat. I imagine that is, yes, thank you. I frigging love this life, and I hope you are loving your life. Today, the topic, I got a lot of inspirations again. And there's new chapters in my story. I got some updates from after the stream yesterday and what happened today. But anyway, let's start where we start, where I like to start, with the thumbnail. And I love this quote today. I feel safe even in the midst of my enemies, for the truth is powerful and will prevail. That's something I didn't really understand in my past. The power of the truth, how powerful the truth is. And my faith is the truth will prevail in all ways, in all things. And so my offer with this, and kind of into the topic a little bit, if you feel safe, you can flow. And the idea is to allow the truth to guide your flow with love. And in this world of cause and effect, flip it around too. Allow love to guide your flow with truth. Sincerely. Learn to love the truth so that you can learn to flow with what the truth offers. And the truth offers power. Truth offers wisdom, answers. See, to me, in my mind and heart, I view the truth as a gift from God. I appreciate the truth, but it's a mystery. I try not to take it for granted. Today, some of the ideas: to flow or resist. It was actually inspired by the city council last night. So after the stream, for those of you who are part of this Talcottian adventure, thank you. And for those of you who are new, well, thank you. I hope you get used to my methods and my manners of storytelling. I hope you can find ways to enjoy it, what I share. So after the stream last night, I went down to City Hall, but it was it was not fully packed, but it was a lot of people there in attendance. And they've got a deal where for the general forum, where they're limited, the people are limited to 2 minutes to speak, and they limit it to 20 speakers. So I showed up and I signed in, and then they do this random number assigner if there's more than 20. And then they also factor in if you've spoken before. Well, I had just spoken the week before, and I turned into the very lowest number. So I was like number 23 or 24, according to what I understood at the beginning. And I sat around through most of the council meeting, and it's local issues primarily, but there was an issue regarding changing the relationship rights between tenants and landlords, offering the tenants a greater notice when there's going to be a rate change in their rent. So there was quite a number of people in the community, both speaking for, offer some compassion to these people, the renters, and then there was also the other business aspect about the dollars and the cents. And I realized all this talk of budgets and rules, right? Those are so important. Why are budgets and rules important? Well, the idea is to keep order. But what we've grown accustomed to is a focus on these budgets and rules. And when we focus on the budgets and rules, what it does is it divides us as a people. And so much of the discussion is focused on where the money's going to go. And we got some well-informed citizens in my community. I love my life, and I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, get involved in your life, get involved in your community, discover who's standing up, discover who's speaking up, and then stand next to them, speak louder, right? There's some folks there talking about how corrupt this entire taxation system is, how the funding project for the city comes from taxes that were paid to the federal, that were kicked to the state, which were kicked to the city to create the illusion that it's okay for us to pay more. And it's all just this Ponzi game. I got distracted. There's a lot of emerging qualities around me that I'm grateful to be a part of. But I sat around, and for a good part of the agenda session at the local level, and I'd had enough. But I did encounter another local hero. He's a hero to me, a local man who's been very aware and conscious, standing up for justice, helping educate others in the community. I understand this week he may be as I understand, he's getting up early in the morning to make and brew coffee to bring it to the nurses who are dealing with a labor dispute. The nurses are on strike at one of the hospitals, as I understand. So it's like these people standing up for people, helping each other. That's what this world is about. We're here to help each other, not focus on these damn budgets and rules. And then I thought about it. Do budgets divide us? You better believe it. Every house in my neighborhood is separated by a budget. And all of these budgets are separated within the community, which has many different budgets. And all of those budgets fall under the national budgets. And it's like, what the frick is going on, dude? This monopoly money it's not funny. The Ponzi game of the Federal Reserve, the fractal reserve debt system. It's actually slavery. Manufactured legal maneuvering has convinced humanity to willingly cooperate with the funding of governments that are literally involved with some very, very evil things. There's some very, very evil things that are being perpetrated in the name of budgets, salaries, bonuses. I think it's time to change. So I don't want to add to the chaos and to the resistance of the world. There's a lot of opposition and warring, okay? But within all of this conflict that's arisen between the nation states, between the political parties, between the religions, between the genders, between all these different beliefs that everyone holds to be so important, The tradition of Pledge of Allegiance came up in my memory from last night. Pledge of allegiance to a flag of a corporation that's not just. See, the standards, the standards of this world, we've fallen. We are the fallen ones. Let's accept where we are. Let's see where we are. Let's help pick ourselves up, help pick each other up. And what I want to offer today, right? And the idea of life, you have the ability, you have the capacity to change your mind. Because there really is, there always, I assume, there is another way of looking at the world. If you remind yourself that things are not always as they seem, there may be a different way to see things within myself or around me. That includes your feelings, right? Maybe those feelings you've been feeling don't mean what you think they mean. Maybe that's why they've been lingering around, reminding you. Maybe the patterns of your life don't actually mean the things that you've been saying because you didn't understand in the past. But here, what I want to offer is a suggestion. What really helps me is to remember to bring my mind and my awareness into the present, because the present is all I can know. Anything else besides the present, I'm remembering or imagining. And I don't want to get lost looping in my head. I want to be present where life is happening. And I want to flow with life as it happens. And as life is unfolded to me moment by moment, I want to flow. I used to resist. Actually, I used to miss out on a lot of the present time. The time with my son, the time with my friends. I used to miss out on a lot of joy and beauty and entertainment because I've been looping in my head. I found my way out of that practice and habit, and I want to help others recognize there's better ways to live. Okay, there's better ways for us all to live individually and together. And we are all in this life together, even with the people we don't like, even with the people we can't stand, even with the people we've never met, the ones we don't understand, right? It's like we are all in this world experience of life as people. Humans, man, woman, whatever version you want to accept for yourself, we're all in this together. We can resist what life presents to us and we can get real angry. And we can resist accepting, right? We can create patterns of denial where we create resistance and opposition to what? Things are not always as they seem, and we are not actually as separated or as divided as the current politics and economics and entertainment system wants us to believe, right? So, in order to flow at this time in this world, you've got to really learn to be honest with yourself. There's a lot of rules, a lot of expectations. That's part of this life. Oh, that reminds me. In the description of the video, at least on YouTube, is a link to a conversation I watched earlier today. Two gentlemen, I think they're amazing, very gifted teachers. They've been explaining a lot of things for longer than me. So some spiritual ideas to help renew your spirit. Check out the link that's down below. Kyle Cease and Aaron Abke. Something I took away from that talk was the idea of purpose, the purpose of why we're here. It's pretty clear. I should have typed this out too, but it's pretty clear when you consider it. We're here for spiritual growth, personal growth, and self-discovery. Spiritual growth, personal growth, self-discovery. That makes a lot of sense to me. And that's what I've been doing. I've been exploring spiritual growth, personal development, and I have been discovering a lot about myself. I mentioned, once I started trying to practice this, well, the universe and the world showed me a lot of insecurities and fears that I didn't realize I had. I mean, I thought I'd taken care of a lot of stuff, but I keep growing and I'm getting ready. I know I'm improving. And my faith in God, my faith in love are so strong right now. So strong. Blessings to all of you. Trying to, I don't know. I may have missed something there. Blessings to all of you who join in. Sincerely, thank you. Thank you to all of you who are doing so. I know for myself the life I've been living, I have chosen, I have found, I've discovered a different view on the world than many people, than many others. But my different view, at least from the others I was around, my different view has been confirmed by many others. So I'm hoping maybe that's what I'm offering to you, is a confirmation that your mind that's a little different, you see things that are a little different than those around you, you might be all right. Okay? As long as you feel at peace within yourself, that's the idea. That's the goal. We want to have peace with ourselves and a guilt-free conscience. That's the real goal. You don't want to create actions and say things where you are guilty of misleading or, interrupting, causing problems. So in this world that we live in, we were born into a world with a lot of divisions and a lot of conditions and a lot of rules. But to create freedom for yourself, for your own spirit, for your own spiritual growth, personal growth, discover who you are by maybe reevaluating the rules for yourself. Each moment of each day, right, as we go through our communities, there's speed limits, there's licensing, registrations, there's all sorts of things you got to balance and figure out what is relevant, what is important. And each moment of each day, this is part of our lives. Had I spoken at court this morning, that was something I was going to point out, but each moment of each day, as we go through our day, the universe is allowing us lessons and tests, and we're all testing each other in different ways. We're all helping each other refine, or we're examples, or it's happening whether we are consciously aware of it or not, whether we're paying attention or not. Life is happening with us, through us, and around us. So I found more freedom in myself to escape from my fears of disobedience, which is what I had within myself. Punishment in my childhood, I was afraid of being punished, and I just didn't get over it until I figured it out. But anyway, the way to avoid the fear of obedience, it's a choice to abide. Okay? And that's where loving relationships are, that commitment, that contract. It's not an agreement to control one another, to own one another, to obey one another. It's to abide. To abide by the desires, the boundaries, the wishes of yourself and those around you. It's easier to abide than it is to obey. However, there are also times in this life where we will be tested, we will be tempted, and there are righteous times when we must disobey. We must disobey our old rules. We must disobey this rule or that rule. I'm not going to tell you which rules to obey or disobey. That's for you to figure out. Our lives are here for us to create or to self-destruct. I spent a lot of years on that self-destructive path, and I'm encouraging you, brothers and sisters, don't do it. Don't do it. The way to avoid the path of self-destruction, align yourself with the truth, any truth, the truth you can know, but allow yourself to be wrong too. Because in the end, all we are is we're just children playing around until we're dust in the wind, right? And eventually things change. That's what life is. Life is change. So holding on to the old ways, it's not always healthy. Let me get into some of these notes. Holy cows. I love you guys. Thank you. I hope, my prayer is that these words are offered and received by, well, everything happens for a purpose. So one of the ideas I wanted to get into the idea of flow or resist, obey or abide, or disobey. Disobedience is a resistance. Sometimes obedience comes with a resistance, because if you don't want to do something and you're unwilling, but you obey because you tell yourself, I have no other choice, well, then you're going to be miserable and resentful. And then when you're honest with yourself and realize, oh, I chose to do that, I can't blame someone else for what I chose to do. Well, then some guilt and shame sets in. But those are normal emotions, and these are patterns of life that we all get to go through. It's part of growing up in this amazing, incredible game of life. I'm learning to love it, because what I've been learning to do, and in that video I brought up with Aaron Abke and Kyle Cease, they discuss the distinction between doing and being. Being is like your state, the state of being, your energetic state. What is the quality of your presence with you? What is your awareness of the quality of your presence? That's your beingness in each moment. But the world wants us to focus on doing. It's always looking for the material. Show me the results. Okay. That's reasonable, but I don't control the results. But anyway, let's not get into me. The difference between doing and being. Doing is, right, the job we're doing, the activity that we're doing, the role that we might be playing. That's the doing part. But within the doing of an occupation, a role, whether you've labeled yourself as mother, father, teacher, whatever, we label ourselves, and those become what our doing is. And we think our doing is who we are. Cashier, single mom, single dad, whatever, all these labels and stuff. What we're doing with our body and our time, it doesn't become us unless we believe that. That's a false image. Think more like God. Think purely, think honestly, think bigly, Think bigly. Holy cows. So doing is found in these budgets and these rules. The budgets and the rules, they set limits. The limits divide us. We can accept limits or we can overcome limits. We can find ways around limits. We can, you know, we can do what we want. What I suggest is the reality is what our goal is in the practice of spiritual growth, personal growth, self-discovery. What will happen is a greater awareness, a more calm state of being. Because without confusion and fear and guilt and resentment, there's a presence. And in your beingness, that's where your personal order is found. The world can be chaotic, the world can be out of order, but if you can find peace within yourself and wholeness in your current moment, in the present, in your beingness, finding joy, finding gratitude within yourself, then you're being you. And within that order within yourself, that is our purpose. Our purpose is to recognize we're not here to focus on the budgets and the rules. We're not here to focus on the divisions. We are infinite. And see, there's always another way of looking at the world. We can feel and believe ourselves into so small lives, into so much pain and suffering. We can think and believe ourselves into such stupid. Praise God. We can think and believe ourselves into a society that allows the options of Donald Trump and Joe Biden to be president. This is unacceptable. Praise God. So if we change our minds and our ways of seeing ourselves in the world and recognize you can align yourself with anything, you can align your time and your energy and your focus into the problems. Or how about this? Align your thoughts, your mind, your heart, your energy into the idea of infinite. Okay? Because if you can align with infinite, then guess what? You see the connections everywhere because there's no limit to you. You're a part of everything that is and everything that was, and you're a part of everything that could ever be from here and now because you are infinite. That's how I choose to believe. See, I've been focusing on my own path of raising my spirit, raising my consciousness, trying to see the world and me more through a higher mind, a mind I imagine could be a perspective of God, trying to understand how is this realm come together? How is it so perfect that time happens, that breath animates? Praise God, man. Praise God in its infinite glory. Words can do our God, our Creator. No, our words cannot do our Creator justice. The only thing that might do our Creator justice is absolute love with all heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your body, all your spirit. If you love God like that, I don't know, maybe different words can arise. I've tried finding the right words for God, for love, for the truth. Truth is, love and God are indescribable. The truth is, love and God are infinite. They're powerful. They're not things. They're forces. They're mysteries. They're gifts. And the only way we could ever know God or love is through the truth. The only way we could know love or the truth is through a God, a creator being that is a creator power, a creator intelligence that's far beyond us. And yet, there's no separation. It's here, it's now. The creator God is with us in the present. Can you feel the bliss and the joy of being you at this time in God's kingdom with you? Because that's what it is. Wherever we go, we are with us. We are with ourselves. There is one I am, that we are. We're part of one universal moment in this experience of time and space and form, and it's miraculous and it's incredible. And life could really, really, really be celebrated every single day if we chose to, especially if we started joining together, overcoming the divisions of these budgets, right? If neighbors work together, I'm not saying join budgets and bank accounts together, but I'm saying if neighbors join together with the intentions and support of, and the intentions and purpose of helping support each other, helping grow each other's businesses, ideas, purposes, education, whatever. Brothers and sisters, the world we were born into has been confused. There's a path out of the confusion for every one of us. The first step is to recognize our blind spots. Where have we been confused? Where have we been dishonest within ourselves, with each other? Where is our own blind spots? And this is where a healthy relationship can be invaluable. If you've got a healthy relationship or a counselor, ask them. The idea of actually the counselor, the idea of counselors and stuff, it's not just to gossip and reminisce about the ideas, it's to re-evaluate yourself. The healing each of us is looking for, it comes from within. It may be inspired by others. Others and different experiences may become catalysts for ourselves, for us. But all healing, all growth, all development, it arises from within. So if you want healing, you want growth, you want development, go within to ask the questions. Feel around, see if you got the answers inside you, and then pay attention to what the world offers. That's what I've been learning to do. I don't remember if I spoke about my morning. I think I spoke about last night. Oh, yeah, I didn't. Last night after city council, I left, got some groceries, and I came back like 9 o'clock. After that, they were still going on agenda items. So I made a connection and I left. I skipped out on the bar on the open mic night, and I understood there was a great gathering of talent. So I missed out on that. I missed out on speaking at the city council. So then I went to the hearing this morning, though. Oh, and then I failed to email my union last night, but I did do that today after the hearing. So I don't remember. I think I mentioned it in this stream. I know there's those who are wondering about the property and the house, but today there was they had a different title on it, but it was basically an eviction hearing scheduled for the property and me today. And through the kindness and generous offerings of an attorney through the Northwest Housing Project, she shared her education and services, and the attorney of the plaintiff and her and the judge agreed for a 2-week continuance. So 2 more weeks. I feel safe. I feel comfortable for today. And this is what I've been practicing. That's the words from the Bible, the words that offered me a lot of encouragement and faith. We live in the moment. We live in the present. As long as there's safety and comfort in the present and today, well, that's all I need to worry about. In that video, I'm bouncing around, but I'm back to offering, I think. In that video mentioned below with Aaron Abkey, Kyle Cease, there was an observation that I loved. It stood out to me. The definition of stress. Stress is a mind focus on what you lose instead of what you gain, right? When we start future tripping and we see what we might be lacking, what we're going to miss out on, what's going to disappear, which makes sense because we can measure what we're going to lose, but we can only estimate what we might gain. Estimate or imagine. Well, we're imagining losses either way, but you get the idea, I think, and it makes sense. Stress is the mind focusing on what is going to be lost. But at every loss, it's an exchange. There's always something to be gained. There's always something gained. If you don't believe that, well, I'm offering you this reminder. There's always another way of looking at the world. And I encourage you to consider that. What was it I just said? Life is, dude, see this? You can't say, oh, that's an interesting thing. A life hack for power companies: still accept checks. If you call and say the check is on the way, the day they shut power down, they have to stop and assume payment is coming. I think it's sick that every house is metered the way that it is. I mean, the infrastructure may require maintenance and maybe even development, but the profits that are made from the energy companies at the expense of the payers, which is the neighbors, the consumers, this entire world is a racket, right? That's what I heard too, is that that's partly the reason Tesla's free energy ideas were kind of kicked to the can. Didn't get the investment backing by JP Morgan as it could have been. Why? Because there's no meter. How are you going to profit if everything's given freely and shared for the betterment of others and humanity? No, we got to meter everything. We got to budget everything. We got to count everything. I know, this is what I realize. Anyone who comes into my life, I'm going to be talking to them. If you end up having to talk to people who are removing you from there, that's an opportunity to tell them you want to end wars and secrets. That's exactly it. I've realized that my opportunities to interact with people are limited. And those who choose to understand, well, welcome, Illumitami. How you doing, my brother? Great to see you.
You know, there's times I can't even let Paul crash and burn, and I'll come up on his panel and assist. Jack, you're interrupting the supply line whenever you're like, oh, you want profits for supplying the energy that I use to stream and use the internet and things. And now you're interrupting the supply line of the children's stomachs of your landlord. And
Wait, no.
something's got to, you have to
That's
perform
not
a
accurate.
value.
Hold on, Tom, please. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was considering this earlier. There's details involved in this contract that I haven't really gone in depth with, I haven't discussed. There's details that you're
So
not
you
aware
have
of.
legal secrets going on with this
No,
contract. I
no,
think you have legal secrets going on with this contract, Jack.
that is inaccurate. I have
Have
no
you told
secret,
us all the details of the contract?
none. Well,
Legal secrets.
I don't know that question. Well, here's part of it. Questions
No,
I
all of
don't,
it, or
Tom,
part of it is
why don't
secrets.
see you don't let me answer. Part of this is I don't have all the answers. Okay. And that might be
Oh,
why
I
you
could have
think
told
they're
you
secrets.
that. As your
Okay?
friend, I tell you all the time you don't have all the answers, Jack.
I know. The thing is, though, is regarding the contract, I was considering that this morning. Their attorney was very quick to agree to the continuance. The reality is they know they are suffering nothing. And I fully expect they are going to, should they prevail, I fully expect
Oh,
they will gouge me with fees
oh,
and fines. So,
that sounds familiar. I heard a bunch of these kids down here in Denver, they just totally mob stole everything out of this store. And they said, don't worry, the corporation suffers nothing. They
hmm,
just Zorg lay off to compensate for it.
okay. Well, all right, you're right. Let me not exaggerate. There may be, I'm sure, there are inconveniences. Now,
Like
for the other
hunger
party.
and ruthlessness.
No, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter. There's 2 more
Nah, we're
weeks.
all gonna die. It doesn't matter.
Tom, actually the reality is we're all in this together.
No, we are not,
Let
sir.
me Tom, let me explain. When I was sitting there in the courtroom, right? There was about 6 or 7 of us that were scheduled evictions, and I don't know exactly how they break this stuff around, but
Yeah, I'm about to tell you.
well, I was there. What I was considering though is watching the attorneys, and there were some great people from the Northwest Housing Project looking out for people, saying, someone showed up and
Northwest Project? Them niggas?
Northwest Housing Project.
Oh, okay. Government niggas.
Well, I don't know. They're people certified as attorneys who've paid for the education and found their way doing this. So anyway, what I saw
Those are the
there,
people you're relying on for that 2 week continuance.
well, let me get to the point. Between the city council last night, watching the city divided over budgets, and then watching the hearing, the theatrics of the court and the attorneys and then
This
the
is,
real
hold on
hold on
though, hold on right there.
the real
Whenever
fear.
you and your daddy have this thing of throwing in the theatrics, this
Mhm.
is a process of the order of our society.
This is well, it's an unfortunate actual part of our real life. Yes, Tom. So let me get to the point here is that I see all these people who live in the same community. Some of the people sitting there in the courtroom, they were afraid. Don't know what the future is going to be. I heard some of the attorneys talking
And
about
they
some
were
of the
like,
cases
why
they're
aren't
dealing with.
you?
What's that?
I'm not saying you have to be afraid, but they were concerned because they're aware of the process they're in and they probably recognize that you don't seem to be. Because what I was trying to tell you from the chat is that the eviction hearing, once that transpires, the timing of the sheriff coming to physically see you out is based entirely on his schedule. So he might
Okay,
hit everybody you saw in
great,
that hearing alphabetically, and once he's there, they will move your stuff onto the street, whether you have it packed up or not.
great.
I've been part of those guys before.
All right. I don't care. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. I'm going to do what I do.
We
And
know.
I'm not harming anyone. So,
Well, you don't, that's not the point. No one's, well,
Tom, here, can I
you're
get
harming
back to what
yourself
the point?
sometimes when you try
Let
and say you're
Tom,
associating with Christianity and stuff.
Tom, I'm trying to share an observation of my life from our community. right? Sitting there watching the city council, watching that charade. And it's not charade, it's actually a way of maintaining order, because fucking people can't seem to get along unless there's rules or something.
Right, because if there's no rules, somebody just post up in a house and deny like the transfer of this economic system.
Hey, whatever. Paint this story whatever you want to tell.
No, this is a thing. You had to have been involved in this and understood it if you were a union person that has a house. You can't
Hey,
just say, oh, because I screwed up,
hello.
now the whole system can just kiss my ass because I didn't keep up with it.
No one's see your false narratives are keeping you
No,
confused.
that's
dude.
what you're in essence. I've watched you, and that's
No.
what you're in essence of your entire process is saying.
That's not true. Here, Tom. I mean, there could be a small part of truth, all right? But let's get
To what I say, you're in denial. You're lost in your confusion and denial and imagination, man.
Tom, you are showing you're describing
that you and your daddy can have your system used against you. I just did it to him in my house.
Would you chill out and recognize I'm sick of you interrupting, Tommy. Okay? You show far more respect when you're running the panel than when you're a guest. And this is crazy.
I would say it's the opposite.
I disagree from my experience.
Like, I'm showing you the respect of not being one of these people that'll come up and help you deny and be like, oh, you're doing good, Jack.
I know you want to be right against me.
I like to be right for the benefit of others. It's a harsh truth we have to face sometimes.
Well, Tom, see, you're not actually addressing anything.
The fuck I'm not. When that sheriff gets to your house, you are physically removed.
Okay.
His schedule to come is based on once that eviction hearing happens in 2 weeks, it's when he can get to it.
Right. Thank you, Tom.
So tell me how I'm just lost and saying nothingness. That's you.
Tom, you're future tripping. I'm trying to have a conversation right now.
I'm future tripping on the return of my one true God, and it will not be out of love. It'll be out of division. And I'm trying to make sure you're on the side you want to be on. I could give a fuck if Snafu Snaps dies today. Well, but I give a shit about you.
What
Jack.
would allow you to accept the one true God is here right now?
He always is. And what you're going to find shocking is when you're finally separated from that, as no one ever has until they are.
Tom, that doesn't make sense.
Well, the ones who are will never be back to tell you about it. You, even atheists, have always been in some connection with God until the day you find you will never be again. That thing that might hold us to the planet, that thing that keeps us.
Tom, you're off on your mind again.
No, that's your what do you call it? Deflection, lost in confusion and imagination. Is this Neurojack? Because I'm going to go in harder on him if that's Neurojack.
No, actually, please. That's our friend, the Machine Lies, and his.
Oh, okay.
His other channel. Now we've got another. I'm going to take a chance.
Let me guess.
I don't do it, Jack. Don't click it. Don't
I already know
click it, Jack.
All right.
We've had a good show so far, Jack. I would not click it.
I'm going to trust that suggestion. I am.
All right, it's adventure time.
Snafu, please. I'm not going to bring you up, brother. I know you.
He took the advice. He took some advice.
Well, how about this? I tried pointing this out. For those who didn't see or did see, I did join Paul on his stream earlier.
Did you wreck him like I did?
No, I tried to just be fun, and I tried to have fun. And it was kind of fun. But I tried to point out real briefly about Snafu, the allegations of Pogo. I started thinking about that.
Oh, God.
What would a pogo do? What's the result of a pogo?
Well,
Wouldn't they run around trying to impose and enforce the rules of someone else
No, that's
onto
called
others?
order. As
Well,
long as
no,
those
that's
rules are sound and logical, that's called order.
but enforcing the rules from someone else onto others.
Yes, as long
That's
as like my rules from someone else is called Jesus.
okay, but like Snafu running around wanting to impose YouTube's
Yes,
rules
he's a
onto
demon.
other people.
Yeah, that goes against his daddy's thing, which shows his daddy to be a hypocrite. So I'm okay with that. I'm gonna sign off on it.
I think it's demonstrating the activity of what could logically be described as a pogo. So I think
Indeed.
Snafu is living out his accusations. It's
Like, are you saying like he's projecting that everybody is what he does?
yep.
Hmm. Interesting.
That's what he's doing things and he's throwing out accusations as though it's others. And the thing is, well, I can't speak for him because that's just
It is Illuminati Day tomorrow, and I'll be struck from making content. What a shame.
I want to offer welcome Machine Lies.
Wait,
Jump
is there
in
31 days in
if you
April?
feel, brother.
Greetings.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing, Jack? Do you know what
Please.
the significance of Illuminati Day is? It
Nope.
too was established tomorrow in the year 1776.
May 1st,
I believe. But is there 31 days in April or 30?
30 in April. So tomorrow is
Yeah,
May
so
1st.
tomorrow is Illuminati Day. Yeah.
Okay. And that's interesting because I've heard different ideas on the idea of May Day. May Day tying it to a labor celebration, and I've heard it tied to pagan celebrations and well, I guess Illuminati somehow.
Not to be confused with Freemasonry, which isn't necessarily Illuminati. But probably adjacent.
Correct.
Probably
Correct.
adjacent. They get thrown around on the internet as the same thing.
I agree. I agree. They're intertwined, but there may be distinctions at the individual level and even small group level. But I don't know. I think there's well, all of humanity is intertwined, and it's such an amazing mystical story. It's God's cosmic light show. We're a part of it. Are you not entertained?
We are a part of it, Jack, and I do want to say it's good to see you today.
Oh,
And
you
I
just
wanted
couldn't
to
resist,
I
could you,
wanted
Jack?
to speak to you before this insane person does.
Go ahead, please.
That person is depriving me of knowledge that I'm seeking right now. And
Good point.
I actually appreciate the people that are on your panel right now, as well as I do you. And it bothers me because now I'm unable to ask TML about that. There's a video that he shared in the past about the Sumerians, and I wanted to dig a little bit deeper on that. And that's kind of where I'm at in my research right now. And so I'm bothered by what's going on. And of course, you guys know I speak with Tom. You know, he
That's
shares
right.
a lot of good points, and we're being divided against our will as usual, and it's very bothersome.
Did I think I may have either ignored or overlooked a couple of things. I heard Tom got struck. May have been copyright, may have been whatever.
It was. Yeah, don't let
Snafu,
now with both me, Machine Lies, and if
okay,
Venus is, I don't know if Venus is currently struck. Snafu just looks to hear about it and then he'll claim, "Oh, that was crew. That was crew."
that's
No,
what I
I
figured.
purposely was like, I'm gonna end my show stringing top 40 till it can't be live, and I just didn't know I pushed it over the top the strike zone. And I
All
and I
right.
still don't care because all my funds come from super chats and cash apps.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
The only detriment is yes, I've got a week to work on the Paul sociopath special. and the CBO gave his kid up for adoption special.
Mhm.
So it's actually like a
No.
gift of time off.
But did TML, did your channel get struck too? Is it
Yes,
down?
but it was just for playing movies and stuff. So it
Okay.
was not, yeah. And there's no reason to blame anybody for it. Even if they take credit for it, there's no actual logical sense in which you could trace it back to their own behavior. So even if people claim it, it's okay, but the thing is that when I first started doing this, my whole intention was to teach people for free. So I don't hope to gain anything. And if YouTube decides that my content should no longer remain there, well, that's their business, But I do very much appreciate YouTube and all these, the corporation and a number of other corporations like BitChute and Rumble and all these private companies actually keeping my content up, because I do believe there's value in some of it, because I give lectures on materials that are basically hard to find. So,
you got a gold mine over there, bro. You know it.
Thank you, brother, man. Yeah. And I got you on the Babylonian thing for sure. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, those are topics I'm interested into. The idea, I lack clarity. And that's something, brother Goblin. Yeah. TML, you got some knowledge and details within you. I love listening to you talk, but I lack clarity in some of the past regarding the development between the Phoenicians, where the Sumerians are, where the different timelines, I think, and places. I still have some confusion in some of there, but history is amazing. It's fascinating. And philosophy. Go ahead, please.
Well, it's interesting because we're inundated with the religion of Judaism. That's because the entire world almost is accustomed to following a Christian ethos, almost billions of people in the world, and it has developed into a system of secular humanism. A lot of the unique ideals that are found within secular humanism actually come from the Christian teaching, whether they admit it or not, our understanding of nature and, our understanding of trust between each other and the concept of sovereignty and the collective being that we are. But in terms of, the Jews, when they went to Babylon, because, their first temple was destroyed, right? And they were captured in Babylon. And then it was King Cyrus, the Persian, who freed them. So it's interesting how during the development of the Jewish traditions, they became first inundated with Babylonian concepts, then Persian concepts, and then they became inundated as well with Greek concepts during the time when they were in Egypt. You had Alexandrian Jews. So you have you have this insane like multicultural aspect to the tradition itself that provides us a rich history when we study the different nations of the world.
It is.
Hey,
it's
is Snafu still in the back?
Yeah.
So can you bring him up here for a second? I seriously want to just have a one quick word with him, and it's not about me and him. Can you drop him up here for a second?
Anyway, greetings, Jack, TML, Goblin, Tommy.
Hold up there, 5-speed. Snafu, are you here?
Well, 5-speed.
Snafu.
Thank you. Welcome, 5-speed.
Snafu, are you here?
Are you there?
Yo, Snafu, you're muted, buddy.
I think he walked away, or maybe he passed out. If I see him in the back again, I'll wait. He just left. So.
What if I was gonna have him grill this dude on 5-speed? I've already told you that info I'm seeking, and I wonder why it dropped off so fast in these streets. That there was a month or two, people were like, yeah, 5-speed gave up his offspring to a predator. And I'm wondering why Snafu's never been on that shit.
Stop. What?
No, you didn't stop when you let Snafu up here for months to run that game. And 5-speed, a redneck looking hick ass.
Hold on. 5-speed.
5-speed, I'll break your fucking face if I ever see you.
What's that?
Up to you. What?
I said you're unslaved as fuck. There's a rumor you gave your kids up to a predator, and if I see your ass, I'll break your fucking jaw for laughing about it.
That's not polite. That's not respectful. That's not honorable.
Hey Tommy, that holy business you got going on, would it make much sense to go out here and spread a bunch of bullshit that's not true without knowing for a fact, Tommy?
Hey,
Practice what you preach, my brother.
I
But
think
hey,
he's just interested in the record, and
don't
as
be
it stands
scared
right
now.
now, he's not satisfied with what you presented. Is my observation. But on a
well,
side note, back to what you were talking about, Jack and TML, regarding the timelines, and I just found it interesting how TML brought up that they um, incorporated with the Greeks, because that just reminds me of the Roman Empire.
it's all coming together into the one. Well, it's all the world. The world is all coming together. And hey, 5-speed, thank you for how you allowed, right? You didn't get upset. I don't know what the deal is, but Tommy has returned.
You know what's
These
kind of
hey,
crazy?
oh, just real quick, the point I wanted to reinforce with what you offered, the idea of false witness, that's something to be aware of for all of us. Go ahead, 5-speed. I'm going to bring him back
What
up.
I find funny is I really haven't been out here partaking in all of this craziness on the YouTube streets, and for Tommy to come out here with such
Hey,
bullshit
as a son of your,
accusations is
repeat what
just
you just said.
mind blowing to me.
Sorry, I put him in the back so sorry for the interruption.
That's all right. You can bring him up
I kind of agree,
if you
but
like.
Tommy's
Repeat what you
he
said when
takes
I
the
left.
opportunity.
As a son of
With-
your daddy, repeat what you told me when I left.
Who are you speaking to? Which one?
5-speed.
Oh, okay.
Repeat
You
what you
remember
said
what-
whenever I left.
Oh,
About what?
About spreading a bunch of shit without knowing for
Right.
yourself.
It
Because all I did was
behooves
ask
you
you
to
a fucking
be
question like I asked Jack.
before
I
you
didn't
go out and
spread
spread
that
a bunch
shit.
of
That shit
bullshit
was
without
going
knowing.
around.
Can we
Well,
hold
okay.
the stick?
Yeah,
while
that's
we
your
do it?
daddy.
It was going around
That's
that
your
you hung out
daddy
at
is
me,
spreading
didn't
a
you?
bunch
Can
of
we
shit
talk
without
about that?
knowing. And the most
Hey.
dangerous thing about me right now is I
Let's
have a
slow
guy
down.
crashing on my couch with a very gas economical car.
Tom,
And
all right,
that is
slow down, please.
You slow the fuck down, you false witness
No.
faggot. You're not
No.
Christian.
Yo,
Tom,
peace.
I'll break both your fucking jaws if you.
Okay, the topic today, Tom. I encourage you, stop the resistance. Okay, right
Whoop.
now is not the time to draw lines in the sand with me and tell me what you're going to disobey. I'm just asking for some cooperation. I know you can abide by a conversation like an
Oh, I
adult.
can. Let's talk about your kids and this dude's kids. Let's not
Why?
have any legal secrets.
Why? What's got
Because
you so
this dude
upset?
wants to say, because you and this dude both want to say that I run around saying things I can't verify. That's
Yep.
your daddy.
No,
That's
you do
your
it as well.
motherfucking
Tommy.
daddy. Do
Tom,
not go to the random fan thing, Jack. I'll rip your jaw off and throw it in that river.
You mind,
Piece
Tom,
of shit.
Tommy?
Fuck you.
you're
Tommy.
resisting the truth.
When I came up on this panel, brother, I said greetings to every one of you folks, and then you come out with this crazy ass bullshit, and then want to try to point the finger to Russ of 5-speed and Jack. Go to your daddy, homie.
Hey, 5-speed, thank you. That's right. You did. You showed up. You were very patient. And then when you did offer, you offered polite greetings to everyone. Thank you. And for whatever reason, apparently, Tommy's triggered by you.
You know, some people, the demons squirm when certain individuals come around. You know,
Well,
it's almost like most folks are wanting to be like the rich and the famous, and Tommy just wants a soul. But enough with the jokes. I mean, I try to be serious as much as possible,
yeah.
and I've done nothing to either any of him or any of them. For him to come up here and do that to me just shows the instability in one's own mindset, that he has to take the focus off of him and put it on someone else.
Part of it, I don't know the details between you and him or what exactly.
Nor do I.
Right. But I do know what I saw there. If anything, some guilt by association. I think Paul's got some resentment towards, Tom's got some resentment towards Paul still, and he'll carry it out with others who he associates with Paul. I think he's done that.
It's crazy. I don't even go to Paul's anymore. I haven't been to Paul's in over a month, probably.
But that's where I think our paths crossed. So I'm assuming, and
You said something a minute ago, Jack. We should be able to have a conversation. If 2 men or 4 men up on this panel, or 8 or 10 men on this panel, can't have a respectful and honorable discussion amongst men that have souls, figuring out what we all have to come together and do to move forward.
Holy cows. Here, hold on. Sorry to interrupt. We got some opportunities coming forth. And so I'm going to bring in both wild cards. Welcome. Choose love or silence. And let's see. Tommy.
No, I'm not going to talk to this faggot outside.
All right. Well, then I guess you're not going to talk here.
That's a shame, Jack. All the Christians keep saying that they're Christians for God, but they keep hating on me and choosing violence.
Me too. Me too.
Scary, Jack. It's very scary, very unsafe around here.
Get used to it. Start laughing with it. You have been laughing at
Well,
it.
I am. I laugh at it, but folks like Snafu and the strike team take it really serious and personal.
They do.
So like folks are going to be governed, I guess, for their own good.
They'll be governed in their minds, but brother, nope. We're going to I'm suggesting we're leading people to freedom. Tommy's inviting Paul, go see
he knows he'll get spanked like he just did, and he wakes up the next day with the Jack Men in Black flashy thing and pretends it never happened. Paul, you remember 5-Speed was on your panel when all these people were mulling over what happened with him giving up his kids, whether he knew it or not. And now Jeeps is down there acting like she wasn't around for that war.
He's getting desperate, Jack. He's like desperate for more numbers.
Hey, don't talk about me like I'm not here, bitch. You come to my couch.
It's funny that I talk to my kids every day, but I gave them up to some whatever he's talking about. I have no clue. But 5-Speed don't follow what another man and woman tells him to do, Tommy, first and foremost, my brother. If you haven't figured that out by now, you still got a long way ahead. But worry about yourself instead of everybody else.
I'm not saying that I'm trying to smooth over what 5-Speed and Tommy got going. That's what they got going, okay?
5-Speed, a Goblin, with all due respect, 5-Speed came up here peacefully. 5-Speed's got nothing to do with this, brother. It ain't anything to do with me.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to ask, while it's us on the panel, y'all, I wanted to know Jack and Paul's opinion about certain channels being struck out, which are limiting others that are seeking knowledge.
I've mentioned the idea of trying to enforce the rules of other people onto other people. It's crazy. These people attacking the other channels. Really? Why? That it makes no sense. Paul, you got any thoughts? I think you were asked too, if you're there.
All right, well, Jack, I got some other business to tend to, my friend.
Amen.
Would have liked to hung out a little longer. Time, I didn't realize what time it was, but maybe next time we'll get off on a better foot.
Hey, no worries. Blessings to you. I appreciate it. Thank you, 5-Speed.
Much love and many blessings to everyone on the panel and in the chat and around the world. Remember, folks, be the change you wish to see. And popularity without a positive purpose is valueless and pointless to life. Much love.
Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate that. Popularity without a purpose. There's a lot of celebrities like that, man. And then they pick these fake purposes, and people are all sorts of misled. But what I realize, brothers and sisters, we are the solution. We're not here to be limited by old rules, by the opinions of others. We're not here to be limited by the things of the past. Let's unite ourselves with the fact that we are infinite. There are infinite possibilities available in our future. Let's stop imagining that we know better. We know that we don't know the future. And so if we humble ourselves to what we don't know and align ourselves with the idea that we are connected to and a part of the infinite. The idea of breaking away from the patterns of doing the hard work, and you just got to force your way into everything. The other way of doing that is being in the present, allowing yourself to flow effortlessly for the work to become done through you without effort. And it gets done through you because that's your intention, that's your purpose that you've chosen for you at the moment. And when you choose to do things, find within you the joy. I choose to do what I'm doing. And what I choose to do, the other part, sorry. Moving from the doing, which means all the planning and remembering and all the other details of doing. When we go into the beingness, it's in the shower, it's in the while you are mindless and effortless, right? While you're just distracted and paying attention to nothing. That's when the ideas really emerge within us. That's where the aha moments, the inspirations happen. And it's not connected to the water. It's not connected to the activity. It's connected to our calm, to our surrender, and the lack of anxiousness, the lack of resistance. We just flow in the moment in time. And this is what I've been practicing more and more, right? With the pending court and the eviction and all this other stuff that's happening around. I don't let myself get confused or get consumed by the lack of answers, because it's the lack of answers that will cause me to be concerned and anxious. When you get to the point where you make sure I'm still awake, have you awakened yet, Kevin?
Jack, just a simple reminder. I know that you know, if you love what you do, it's not a job.
Amen. And honestly, that's what I believe. The world wants us to believe that we've got to take whatever job is available. You got to do whatever it takes to get the fiat, to chase the bags, to whatever. I don't want to enable and support this criminal enterprise of the fiat money system that's been imposed upon and enforced upon my neighbors and my family because of the beliefs in this government structure. And the whole government and corporate structure are sincerely criminal enterprises. The employees of many of these organizations, they don't know the role they're playing. Hello, remember, I served the military as a kid. I didn't realize who I was serving. I thought I was serving you guys. I thought I was serving people like me. And there's men and women right now in uniform who believe they're serving you and me. And that's because they were led to believe things that they were taught, that they were shown. That's the way this world is. That's what we are all of. Kind of like what Machine Lies was talking about regarding the development and the influence of the different philosophies, ideas, the different cultures affected the Jewish culture, the Jewish nation that emerged. We are all dynamically, intimately involved with each other, especially when we share the gift of the here and now with each other.
Jack, you brought up an excellent point, and I resonate with it because I actually spoke on this recently on some other panel, but about people in costumes that actually claim to be against what they're holding up without acknowledging that they're even supporting what they're against. And so it just reminds me of that. And costumes don't exclude you from the facts.
Amen. But unfortunately, we've got a system around us where there's these clauses of special immunity, the defense of plausible deniability. We've got all these loopholes for people, for people to be dumb and to be criminals. And I don't think that's healthy for the future of mankind. I believe sincerely, you and me and everyone else who does and does not know it yet, I think we are a part of the return of Christ. It just makes the most sense to me because however it may come to be, the result would be the darkness is dealt with. It's let into the light, or it is no longer enabled, no longer supported, no longer allowed. The darkness and the corruption and the oppression and the wars and debts and slavery can end. And then we consciously, humanely, right? Compassionately, we connect, we unite our purposes. And what is our purpose? We all want to live the life of our dreams. So let's help each other become that. Let's help each other realize dreams and become the life of their dreams. Some education, connections. This is what I want to get across to what I hoped to mention at the city council last night. While the budgets divide us and the rules kind of keep us separated and apart, opposing each other, there's a connection. There's a connection from me and those people in that city council here in my hometown. There's a connection with the city council, the municipality leaders, municipal leaders into the county, into the state level, into the federal level. There's a connection through all of those hierarchies that want to act like they're all separate and independent, but they're all connected. And they have connections to each other with people as well. I mean, it shouldn't be so damn difficult to have a conversation with an elected representative from your state. I don't know why people make things so difficult for each other. It is.
If you have a local issue that you want to address, my unprofessional, unadvice would be to contact your mayor. You got to start somewhere.
I've tried. I'll continue to try and I'll keep trying, but the reason I want to talk to the mayor is because the mayor has connections to maybe the governor, to the senators. They've got connections. I can't seem to get anyone's attention, but the people in positions, well, they got credibility and they got authority because they get a paycheck. Fucking A. This world we live in, man. Excuse my language, please. I'm trying to outgrow that. Apparently my profanity offends people.
You're right though. And you got people in the chat, you know, F these people and their connections, this and that. So you get those ones which rebel, which make no difference whatsoever because they're not doing anything. Not only are they not complying with what they're against, but they're just not doing anything to change it at all. And then you got people that prop themselves up or get propped up to be, you know, presented or portrayed in that avatar ego. And then you get the other ones that hide behind the ego, which the ones that actually hide behind the ego are usually the ones that actually have strings.
Ones that hide behind the ego.
Yeah, like it's hard to get a hold of me. I got a busy schedule. I don't have time, this and that. But you know who I am, but I just don't have time to talk to you.
Yes.
That kind of stuff, you know?
That's the pattern of the ego. You're right. And here, both of those statements, the government is guilty of genocide. It is. And
Well,
the
it's like
government,
it's like they
What's
say
that?
in the you know, I think it was like Frank Zappa or something where he was like that politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex, you know, and then I think it was Mao who's you know, basically saying like war is politics with blood and politics is war without blood. So it's just the same conflict on two different levels, you know. And it goes back to the whole premise of the show, which is like competitiveness and enemies and you know, and like loving your enemy because you see it as competition. So it's actually a blessing in disguise, you know, in a way, you know. And then going beyond competition into the realm of relation because everything is actually connected, as you said, you know, so you can get to a higher level there.
And that
Yeah.
works. That applies in all groups, any type of tribe, just like he said, all the way down to any type of relationship. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. But I would think that it's a question, really. Is it that the system is broken to the point, or is it that the species is corrupt to the point?
both. There's no separation.
That's what
This
I would
is
think too.
this has been part of our issue. We want to blame people, we want to blame the systems, we want to blame God, we want to blame everything. But how do we transfer power without losing our freedoms? We claim our freedoms, stop lying to ourselves, thinking we are free while there are still humans just like us sitting in cages, sitting in refugee camps, sitting in war zones. As long as there are men and women just like us, beings of form and soil and the breath of life, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And America as a whole has become, I'd say the world maybe, we've become blind. It's talked about in scripture, the world will blind us. We'll lose our senses. We'll lose our compassion. We'll lose our care. We'll lose our love if we allow the world to consume us. But we're not limited by this world. Brothers and sisters, we are united to the infinite. The infinite is who we are. We are experiencing the infinite expression of life here on earth, and we're just this newest part of the story and of the development. So why not? Why not unite together to change the rules forever, or at least as long as we can live? And if we change the rules, right, these ideas of the government's dividing, we don't lose our freedom. The freedom is there for us to claim, and freedom is an alignment with infinite possibilities. In infinite possibilities, I choose to believe that we are the second coming. We are the return of the Christ. And admittedly, if God allows me, I want to play a leading role in this. Although I want to invite others to join, so we are playing a leading role. But there's a lot of leaders being shown rising up in the world today. There's a lot of messengers, a lot of teachers. There's some very incredibly gifted spiritual teachers and messengers alive today, not just in religions and not just in the churches, but all over the place, man. I think that's where we're at. I believe it's time for us to resist the ways of the old so that we can release ourselves. If we resist the old ways and who we used to be, who others used to be, if we release all that into what's done, we can now redirect our energy into the future and uniting ourselves with each other, helping raise each other up. We can flow easily into a better future together. That's what I'm predicting, and I'm predicting this flow and growing a better future together very easily. I'm predicting that because that's what I'm focused on trying to grow. Frank, when you become leader, will you give us all cool uniforms or at least sexy hats? No uniformity, man. I celebrate individual expression. But you know, there is something to be said about branding too. I can't overlook that benefit. Creating the camaraderie and the connection. I don't know. I've been going on and on. Please, I will yield. Brothers, panel. Should I bring Tommy up for a moment?
I think let's just hear what he has to say. I think he's learned his whatever, you dunked him for so long.
He's been patient, and Tommy
I can't believe-
is. You know what? And actually, before I bring Tommy up, I mentioned it in chat on Paul's stream. As much as Paul aggravates me, and as much as he appears to get aggravated with a lot of people, he's got a patience within him.
Well,
that
I
I've
think
been
what he's
learning.
saying, I think what he's saying here is very wise. Choose love or silence.
It's beautiful.
And then he's just silent. So I think he's actually living the words. So you know what I mean. It's a blessing.
It works.
It is what it
It
is.
works. Hey, I'm
It
going to
does.
bring Tommy up, and I may refill my water. Well, Tommy, if you're there, thank you for your patience and welcome back.
Oh, I'm patient because I have nothing but truth and words and disagreements in my truth against you and your daddy and Goblin. Watch Goblin sit up here and not push back on this
What the
Antichrist.
fuck did I do
bullshit.
now, motherfucker?
Right.
You did
I
nothing.
asked you, what did I do now?
Why go after Goblin? He's one of the most
What did I-
peaceful ones up
What
here.
did I do
See,
now?
that's how you're a false witness. You
I
say I'm
love
going
you.
after Goblin. I'm
I love
asking
you.
Goblin why he sat here and was silent while you said that Antichrist bullshit. Even Paul's Antichrist
Okay.
bullshit. If
Hey,
Christians shouldn't be
Tom.
violent, why would Jesus tell us to get a sword?
Well, the book.
Well,
Tom,
go get
here,
your water, Jack. Go get
Yeah,
your water.
I will.
You're gonna
I'd like
need
to
it.
offer an answer. The book.
You
I
don't
heard.
have an answer. I'm the one
I
with
do.
your answers.
I have an answer to offer.
Why is your daddy so quiet?
I
He's a
cannot speak
bitch,
for
and he's
others.
my bitch.
Yeah.
And he's got a big old egghead looking stupid, like a big
I think
old
when
piggy
Tommy-
head.
I think when Tommy adds, he takes over. But it's what I'm gonna go get some
Just
water.
Frank
Tom-
is big mad. Just Frank is just mad because I've rejected him like your daddy's rejected you over and over again. What do you got, Paul? Let's do it, boy, because I know you ain't coming back to my house no time soon. You know, you done got spanked like a little bitch, and it don't go back from here. It's too well known. You're out of games, you're out of cards to play, and you can't stand on truth. Oh, he's doing the quiet game again. It's okay. We'll wait for Jack to get back. I'll contribute to this dead air.
This
It's like a
striking
dead
of
channel.
these channels, man. That this shit
What?
ain't this striking of channels shit ain't gonna work out too swell, man.
Who cares? I'd rather have my channel struck than be the goblin that sits here and tells Jack he's doing a good job with his Antichrist bullshit.
How did I say that he's doing a good job or Antichrist bullshit? What are you talking about, dude?
Well, you're sitting here like telling Jack he's doing a good thing with his channel, and it's not that you did a thing, it's that you didn't do a thing. I was sitting in the back. I've heard that we are not the return of Christ. These things he says is not true about economy. Now he wants to stand against the economy and the system because he's about to get
Well, what's
evicted
gonna
out that
happen
house.
is at the end of all this bullshit, in the reality we're in,
I
we are
really
gonna
hate
step
the
into
tone
a
of your
gold
voice,
game.
Scott. Like, I
We
hate
are
your
gonna step into
fucking
that,
voice.
okay?
That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
What are you
It
talking
sounds like
about,
a
dude?
desert thirst.
Okay,
Your
what are
voice
you
sounds like
offering
a
other than
desert
just trying
thirst.
to sit here and fucking beef, dude? I'd be pissed
I'm
too.
beefing with the right to beef. Why aren't you guys worried about that 5-speed shit? And did I ever break out over that PDF stuff, or did I stand on my non-PDF stuff? Because that motherfucker be avoiding me. And on his orders, another son of Paul enslaved, OTW, he deleted that time I wrecked 5-speed, Wizard, Timmy, all of them that was coming at me while I, to their entertainment, stopped barely in every point she
I
tried
did
to make
not
that she
see
didn't
that.
set
I
up
did
her
not see the
assault
original
story.
footage, Tommy.
Shut the
But
fuck up, Goblin.
you shut the fuck up, motherfucker. But look,
Come
you
see me
spoke to
then.
me
You said
about it
you can come
already, but I
see
had
me.
not
Come
seen the
see me.
footage. So who am I to say anything, dude?
Who are you to say anything? A
I never seen the
motherfucking child
footage
of
that you're
God is
speaking
who
about.
you are to
I
say
never seen the
anything.
footage
That's
you're
why I
speaking
don't let
about.
Paul slide on his bullshit. That's why he stands here quiet before me, because he knows he's a
Well, I
demon.
ain't Paul and I ain't you.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, you'll never be
Tom.
me, Goblin. I'm a motherfucking child of God.
Tom, please calm down. Okay. The language.
Is that all it takes, Jack?
The language. Calm down, please.
Fuck you.
No.
Faggot.
No.
Nigger.
Hey,
Bitch.
Tom, what is your point?
Paul.
Do you see yourself?
Worst one of all was
like a little
Paul.
child.
That's
see
your
the
daddy,
demon?
Jack. That's your daddy. The quiet little child that knows he's just seething to get at me. And I wish he would. Because you're going to protect him, then you're going to get evicted. And once you protect him and get evicted, you can never undo it because your YouTube thing will be over.
Tom, I'm just asking you to look at yourself.
I look at myself. You're the one in denial. Your daddy's the one in denial.
Tom,
You guys are both running similar grips.
Well, Tom, what are the facts?
Tell me about my behavior when you come camp up on my panel next time, Jack. You had your daddy right there on the couch with you. Neither of you had shit to say, just like he ain't got shit to say now. I bet if I was a 65-year-old stripper paying his rent, he'd have something to say, and then he'd eat my ass when I was done.
Hey, Tom, can you please calm down, man?
Well, then come around the truth, brother, and I won't have no reason to get in that ass.
We don't have
You're a
to
joke.
have
Your daddy's a joke, and your time of your little YouTube grift is over.
Well,
I fucking hate you two.
Eventually,
self-control.
Hey, let me
Fuck you, Goblin. Have your self-control come to Denver. See my fucking control.
Tommy, there's another way of looking at things.
He's the one that said he's coming here.
What is another way of looking at things?
Oh, that's you. You need to find another way of looking at things. I've been sitting back here saying, Paul, correct Jack on his bullshit, and he didn't.
Well, let's work together.
Fuck you. You're against me. You're the opposing side. Why would I work with you? Why would I work with Paul? You guys are a joke. You're an antichrist joke.
Tom, I'm present with you here. I'm not against you.
The fuck you are. I was present in your backstage, nigger.
Well, look where you
Shout
are right
the
now.
soul, play a TV.
Hello. Are you here and now, or are you lost?
Yeah, I'm here telling you and your daddy you're fucking cracker ass niggers and you ain't shit.
You appear lost in your mind and showing us your confusion, my friend. And so to prevent further confusion and chaos and interruptions, I'm going to take a break, Mr. Tommy. Holy cows. I do love you, brother. I really do. This life we are living, we're, whether we like it or not, we are all kind of like children, brothers and sisters in this experiment of life. Because life is an experiment. There's been governments and people experimenting all sorts of shit on us. I mean, I can say that confidently because I went in the service. I know that shit was experimented on me. So this is the world we live in. We're living in this crazy life experiment together. And if Earth is round in the space, all we are is just this big terrarium. We could be sitting on the shelf of some god's display case, not even know the difference. Right? We're like we're an experiment in biology and consciousness that the universe has somehow, some way developed. And we're all a part of it. It's pretty amazing once you stop and think about it. It's like, holy shit, dude. Life is kind of mind-blowing, really. Like I said, we are all children. We are all brothers and sisters here. Whether we like each other or not, we're all in this life together. Just like in the family, you may not immediately get along with those you grow up with, and you may have reasons to dislike them. But you know what? Feels better to get over it. And I know it feels better to work together than to constantly be battling and arguing. That's what I got frustrated with the union part. There were so many people that wanted to focus on the arguing and battling part, and I enjoyed that. But it was more fun to negotiate and to get stuff accomplished, find solutions, and bringing change out and helping things improve. That's what I hope for our future, honestly, is what I honestly hope for is a future where people start working together to dismantle the oppressive system, the beast systems of rule. It is the structures, the government structures. It's the egoic structures of our collective. And we can overcome, we can actually dissolve the illusions of power that both the ego and the government offer. We can overcome those illusions to unite with the infinite part of us, which is the true self, which is the spirit. And the spirit is the true self. And so that means the truth. We are the truth.
I'm glad that you said that, Jack, because like we were speaking about earlier when I said, is it really the system or the species, right? And then you got to think about the dual jurisdiction, right? So half of that at minimal should be for the people. Technically it should be all for all, you know what I mean? But that'll never happen. But either way, if we are able to redirect the structure, because it's supposed to be the structure of the system is supposed to be the reflection of the people.
Yes. And it currently
and
is.
now we got over half of a world that is signed directly into that system.
Mm-hmm.
And at least half of them, I would think, are complaining about a system that they're upholding.
Yes. And they don't realize it because that's how the system is designed. I mean, that kind of goes to your question too. And I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Did the corrupted people create the corrupted government, or did the corrupted rules create the corrupted people? I think it's a little bit of both. It's like this game of life where good is created, and yet it's allowed to become corrupted by the corrupted. And greed and selfishness, those have been a part of human behavior and enabled in human behavior. I mean, that's what slavery is. Slavery is the result of selfishness. Simple as that. So, selfishness is what we're here to overcome.
Right now, where we're at in the timeline, man, with all the bad shit going on in the world, allegedly, every opportunity in the world to do whatever you want to do right now.
Mhm.
Right now.
I was considering that on my drive home from court today. The reality is, by the grace of God, by the grace of something greater than me, and by the grace and cooperation of all those involved in the community, I get to be. And as I get to be, I can do whatever I want. I'm free to do that. Everyone is. We just convince ourselves and each other to believe that we can't. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to get permission. You got to get a license. You got to get a registration. You got to get someone else's approval. Okay. Sometimes, not always. Life is so fucking fun. Now that I've given up like worrying, now that I'm just focused on growing into a better version of me, becoming more than I used to be, overcoming the circumstances and the situations around me. Life's kind of fun. It's like an RPG, and that's what we are. We're playing like a role playing real life action game. We can choose actions or inactions. And you level yourself up by doing exercise and nutrition, especially by learning new skills and talents. Ding ding, level up. Grow and become a little greater version of a warrior, and you become the hero in your own adventure, or the prisoner, or the slave, or the victim, or whatever you want to believe, I think. I don't know, man. You see, your confusion is limited. Butthole Winkler. Your confusion is revealed in your limited focus.
Peace
I
to the
don't know.
homie Butthole Winker. He's
He's a character, man. He makes me laugh, but he's been frustrating. So, I get a lot of these characters where I'm like, what in the hell is the purpose of this? Why am I experiencing this? It's got to be for entertainment. So, I don't know. Hey, I'm wondering, what should we do? Where should we go?
Well, I think you mentioned skill and it's kind of about enemies and about sharing our kind of skills with our enemies. And obviously the best competition actually occurs on equal terms, on an equal level of skills, and that's the best thing is, and that's why Lao Tzu says that the best place is second place, because you get all of the skill, but you get none of the kind of the fame, so because the first place guy's not going to last there forever. He's always got the second place guy coming up on him, and the second place guy, he's got something to strive for. The first place guy is always just willing to just maintain his level, and that's why he has nothing to achieve, or nothing to rise up to. So it's almost like, he's done for. He's just waiting to be replaced. So So there's
Dude,
so there's a question about competition and skill and how it's a blessing, you know.
that's interesting though, but it's the level field. I want to let's create a level field. Let me have a conversation with the likes of Donald Trump, Joe Biden, people in the Congress. Let's create a level field. Show them, start from a place of equality. Let's have a battle of minds. What is true amongst us? What do we know?
Well, that's why the best competition is with yourself, is the shadow boxing. You know,
Mm,
that's the
I-
real, conquering yourself, because if you know that you can't be beaten, then who can challenge you, in the first place? That's like if you develop yourself and you go, I read one quote one day in the samurai book. It was saying, I know not how to defeat my enemy, but only what it takes to defeat myself. So in a way, I think Nietzsche says, in order to love our enemies, we must hate our friends. So it's like,
mm,
you got to
hey,
challenge, you got to challenge those people that are close to you, because those are the people that you got to have rise up to your level. So yeah.
mhm. Hey, I agree. Sorry, my mind drifted. I saw chats and and you know what? I want to bring Tommy back up. We'll see if we can
Oh,
continue these conversations.
Jack, I think I have an agreement and a solution for you.
Serious?
You can live rent-free inside Talcott Clips Collection's head.
He's walked away for a while. I noticed he returned, but I'm not
He's
sure.
a son of his daddy as much as he's ever been, and he doesn't even know I've wrecked his daddy 10 times over.
Well,
That's your daddy, too.
but we don't need to wreck each other.
We do. I'm called to it by my
No.
God to call out the false soothsayers. That's
This,
you. That's Paul. And Goblin promotes it.
Consider this,
You cannot
please.
say that I promote anything that's going.
You don't stop it.
because you
Silence
don't even
is
know what I
violence.
believe, bro.
Silence is
How are you
violence.
going to say I'm wrong for what I believe?
You
Right.
claim to
You
believe what
expect
I
me to
believe, just like your
tell
buddy
them that
Jack.
they're
You
wrong
guys
for
claim to
something,
believe
right?
what I believe, and I
So
want
want
you
me
not
to
believe it.
infringe on their rights and tell them that they're wrong for their beliefs.
I'm not infringing on rights to say they're wrong.
That's what you
You
do.
dumbass drunk, you stupid Indian sitting motherfucker.
See the slander, the insults? Holy cow.
Indeed, faggot.
Tom,
I don't like you, bro. I don't like you, bro. You're a liar and you're stupid like your daddy. And that's why he sits.
There's always other ways to see things, Tommy. I do love you, my friend. And I guess sometimes to love our enemies, our adversaries, our opposers, to love them, I guess sometimes we do disrespect our friends.
I guess I'm supposed to feel
That's
bad because I'm
interesting.
Indian. My apologies, everyone.
Oh, no, I disagree. I think that's pretty. I think there's something to be celebrated about everyone. Everyone's everyone's family tree has some stories and some interesting things that we live in a world where the history has been corrupted and manipulated. Children are taught. I regret in many ways. I got to spend a little bit of time with my grandfather, and he was born in 1900, right? So he went through, as a young man, went through the wars, went through the depression, and when I met, he died right before he was 90. So I wish I'd have paid attention and asked more questions. But he was such an angry fucking man too. It was like he didn't dare. I didn't dare. I didn't dare ask him questions. I was afraid of him. But the history that's lost, the history that has been lost. Actually, I'm not going to go that direction. I'm very grateful that currently today there are still many people learning and carrying some of the traditions of their native cultures, of their past. People still carrying some of their languages and, some of the things that make their peoples a little unique. I've I've encountered a couple people who identified themselves as medicine men or um, I don't remember the other, something to do with a peace pipe to be, there was something I didn't, it's been a while, but
That's cow dung.
no, it was
Yeah, it's
something
got
else.
mushrooms and stuff in it. It's cow
Maybe,
shit. I'm telling you.
maybe,
And then other places they use like the peyote and different things for different tribes.
yeah,
Different strokes for different folks. It's still
dude.
it's still similar, really.
Hey, there's a lot of wisdom. I looked into well, there's scholars today that have studied all sorts of things, especially when you get into the religions and esoteric. And where I was going with this is some of the ideas of the shamans, the medicine men, medicine women, the way they connect to the spirit of nature, the animal spirits and the animal kingdom, and they connect to the ancestors and the wisdom that's in the consciousness beyond our limited forms. It's stuff that's available to us all, these ideas at least. And then
Well, there's a ritual where they do the fire and then the blessings and for the rain man, and they put you in a hole, and you absorb the energy directly from the earth. And then like during the day you connect with the sun and nature and the plants. You talk to them, they talk to you. There's a direct response there. Communication.
there's a I believe there's many ways to connect to the mystical aspects of life. The opportunities to connect to the mystical aspects of life are only found in the present, because it's only in the present that we get to live. So in the presence of today, I'm excited, brothers and sisters, everyone who tunes in here or in the future. I'm excited to see what the future brings forth through us all. The idea here, I may be poorly explaining this, but if you know better, please help me. I was inspired by a talk from Aaron Abke recently. He's been discussing some of the Essene traditions he's been learning and practicing. And as I understand, it seems to me, and it seems like the pieces point to that Jesus came from or through the Essene teachings. Their practices sound to be very, very similar. And anyway, one of the things that he was pointing out was the idea of the angels of the elements. It's a similar concept to the spirit of the elements, the elemental spirits. But the angels of the elements, the angels of the water, the angels of the soil, angels of the air, the angels of the fire, the angels of the ether. I was praying with those, to those, for those to be with me today, like in the shower, right? This is where the ideas came forth. And it makes sense because we are a part of the elements. And I do believe that there are higher beings of energy, higher beings of consciousness that work with us and through the elements for us to come forth. There's like divine mysticism and all sorts of supernatural, right? From our perspective, supernatural powers. Does this stuff make sense? The angels of the elements.
I'm actually somewhat familiar with that. It just
Yeah.
it does sound a bit paganism, but
Maybe.
I've heard these things. I'm interested what TML thinks about that.
Please.
Well, one of the reasons that John the Baptist went to the desert in the wilderness was because he didn't want to behold these authorities in the temple that were beholden to those corrupt figures like Herod. So he rejected those temple sacrifices and those kind of means of attaining power or status in the world. And that's why, indeed, they called for his head and they tried to attack the Essenes directly. But his sort of concept of this ritual baptism, was about purification. As we're born through the waters of the womb, we're born again through the waters, and purified ourselves to start a new life. And that's why he took his people out to the wilderness, to Jordan, to the river, and had them baptized there. And Jordan, for a long time, it was known as the Greater Palestina. So it's basically an extension of Jerusalem. At the time. Galilee and the Jordan River and all these types of things, and the desert, are all very important. And I mean, as you see, Jesus went to the desert when he was tempted by the devil. So this was part of his kind of Assyrian, fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. These kind of ritual practices, going to the wilderness, and actually Abraham went to the wilderness too when he got out of Babylon. So this whole thing of going to the wilderness is an act of purifying yourself from the powers that be. You know what I mean? And kind of, so in that vein,
That's beautiful. There's so many powerful perspectives on the things that happened, right, in the Bible regarding, the separation from the world in some aspects, to go to the wilderness, to detach from the world, and then the cleansing ritual, the tradition, right? The idea is the cleansing ritual of fasting, of separation from the material, the worldly ways, and then the water, the cleansing, to with the physical cleansing of the water to wash away conceptually the ways of the world, the ways of the past, the sinful ways, the darkness from ourselves. And we through that baptism, taking ourselves under, as we renew, the purpose is to be cleansed with the Spirit of life, the Spirit of truth.
See, and like when you think about the concept of born again, okay, you're born again, like you're born into the world through the womb, the matrix, the portal, right? You come into this reality, and you're pure at this point, is what we're told, at least, right? And then as we grow older, we pick up ideas, characteristics, principles, morals, values, things that matter. And then you come to an understanding where it's like with the spiritual awakening, man, like you're reborn again completely. Like you could look at this so many ways because we go through phases in life,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Brother, yes, what just inspired with that, sorry to jump in like that, but what just inspired with that is that reborn, I was dead inside. That's how I felt in my life. I was walking in darkness and regret and anger and depression, miserable, dark thoughts of ending myself. I allowed myself to consciously, mentally die, and I allowed myself to be reborn. And with the reborn, with the rebirth, with that intention, that acceptance, that devotion, commitment, I am reborn and renewed, and I am not the same as I used to be. There's new growth, new discoveries. And I'm telling you, Well, that's my testimony. That is what happened in my life. And I'm excited now. I'm excited for what the future will bring, but I don't know. I won't go into that conversation. I think maybe I should probably wrap up. We're at the couple hour mark. I've still got Tommy in the back though. So thoughts and our other guest, Mr. Paul, what was it? Silence or love, something like that. Love or silence. Shared blessings and stepped out quietly. But,
Mr. Second Place. so it's
well,
important to note that.
I
So that was very
yeah,
clever. Very clever.
an amazing. We've got some amazing people around us, including Illumitami in the back. But before I bring him up, do you guys want to jump in anything?
Yes, I have to actually get going. I have a very bad migraine and I have to talk to my wife. So the thing is that I'll just leave everyone with this one statement here and I'll be back here soon. And especially I'll talk to you soon, Brother Jack. I meant to talk to you today, but I have to run, so maybe tomorrow.
Blessings.
But yeah.
Yes.
Basically, it was an interesting reflection, I thought, in terms of, Machiavelli, where he says that, would you rather be feared or loved by your enemies, or your friends? And he says that, one loves out of convenience, but fears out of necessity. So he says that it's better to be feared than loved. That's what he says. But, in terms of God, I think it's interesting because God is the being that loves all, yet he attains the most power. So I think what's interesting about God is that God is the place where fear and love rest, because God is both loved and feared. So I think it is a beautiful reflection in terms of both, atheism and even religiosity, that fear and love are somehow combined. But yeah, I bid you guys farewell with that one. Thank you guys so much. Blessings.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Hey, have a good evening, TML. Much love, brother.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes, please and thank you. That observation, and I think that's true. The God is the balance, the rest, the resting place of love and fear, the oppositional forces. It's the narrow path, the power of the truth. That is God, man. God is so amazing. The perfect balance, the perfect unfolding, the perfect revelation of all things at just the right time.
Absolutely, Jack. Absolutely. The timeline's going to do what it does. We're going to make the change in the world regardless. They could laugh. They could try to shut you down. Love is the way. All right.
Hey, before you bounce, it's up to you. But we still have Tommy in the back. I am going to bring him back. So you're welcome.
I'll sit up here with them.
I appreciate.
Yeah,
Tommy,
I'm glad
welcome
you
back,
stayed,
my
Goblin.
friend.
That was an example. You just did it, Goblin.
What did
You
he
just
do?
did it. He
What did he
encouraged
do?
you that love is the way and you'll change the world, and that's some Antichrist bullshit.
No, you can't change the world.
No, you can't change
There's
the
still a
prophecy.
timeline regardless.
Tom, what if God
Jack, I want
wants
to thank
to change
you.
the world through us? What if that's what God wants?
Well, if you read the Bible, you'd know why that's wrong.
I have read the Bible.
No, you
I know why
haven't.
it's right. I know why I can explain why it's right, that God wants to change the world through us.
Oh, he will. No, he doesn't need us. He's going to change the world when it
Right.
happens. You're
God
not going to change the problem. You're not going to end wars. You're not really doing a thing up here but serving the God of this world.
Not with your attitude and with your narrative, you're right. Okay, but your narrative is not accurate.
I
And
think
Tom,
he's just trying to run off it because he's speaking it regarding the materialistic ego world in that matter, which I get where he's coming from, but regardless, we still have an obligation to make this world a better place.
we have the opportunity. This is what I'm suggesting. And Tom, sincerely, okay? Let's not focus on being
I
right.
appreciate this
Let's be
chant. Everybody's
accurate.
always telling me, quit interrupting me. You put me in the backstage and then you bring me up to
Have a
interrupt
good
me.
evening.
And then you tell me you love me, brother. Faggot. Now listen, I appreciate this opportunity to come up on panels, have the whole chat work against me, because this is the only chance I can work. You're all misled. You're all wrong. I'll say what I can and you'll deny it and you'll burn in hell. It's not my problem. I'm doing everything I can. And you keep going back to your hippy dippy bullshit and you're leading people astray. You're not Christian. You admitted that. Your daddy's lost. That's why he ran. And he's not even second place. Paul would be second place in a fucking eating contest. There's nothing else to even place in.
Tom, golly jeez, dude. What if, wait, holy cows, I was rubbing my eyes. Goblin's gone, Tommy's gone. Thank you so much for joining today. Sincerely, everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat, everyone who tunes in the future at a later date or time. I look forward to the future that we all get to share, my brothers and sisters of today. Let's realize that there is a we. There's more we than there is us and them. There's all of us. We're all in this world together. And in this world that's together, we don't have to stay divided. We don't have to stay in our disagreements, stay hanging on to the past. And if we spend more time trying to be accurate, we'll spend less time fighting over who is right. See, because when we focus on being accurate, well, the words can be gently shared and easily understood, readily accepted by people who are willing. So, brothers and sisters, today we have more examples of today. Different people show themselves in different ways. And my goal for today, brothers and sisters, is to share me with the love that I feel. And the love that I feel allows me to flow, not resist. And oh, that's right. We went into my story, some of the craziness of my adventure, and I am walking. I'm sharing what is helpful to me. And I've been, in some ways, I've been put through the ringer over the past few years. And in some ways, holy cows, man. When my story becomes more well known and all the details start coming together, it's an amazing adventure, and I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for today that God allows me to be me. And I'm so grateful that God allows you to be you, because you are a part of me today in the here and now. And in the here and now, we are. And we are the solution for the future. We are the future that's coming together. And I believe God created us and all that is for the reason so that we might have this opportunity. What an opportunity to experience changing the world in your own unique way. Wow, what a gift. What a gift to discover, to see how good can I create this world before I leave. And so let's drop in real quick before we go. In this world of division and corruption and oppression, where wars and deaths have been normalized, let's recognize that each moment, each day, we all have the opportunity to obey, abide, or disobey, maybe lead. We can lead through obedience. We can lead through cooperation, the best. And sometimes there is a time to defy the ways of the past, to defy someone's illogical, unhealthy wishes for you. And maybe that's you. Maybe it's time for you to defy your own unhealthy or unhelpful wishes for you. I want to remind you, whoever you are, this is our opportunity to be who you are. And being who you are in wholeness and completeness will bring order to you, with you, and around you. And if you can just be you comfortably, reasonably, consciously, lovingly, if you can be that way with your purpose, the purpose of spiritual growth, personal growth, self-discovery, if you work with that purpose, recognizing your alignment to the infinite, because the infinite is what you are. We are all aspects of the infinite, and wherever the infinite is, there's no limit to it. So recognize your alignment with the infinite to see the connections between you and others out there in the world, and then recognize our purpose of growth is for multiplication. We are here to multiply, not divide. We are here to bring unification, to bring light, to bring love, to bring health into this world, to help realize the perfection that's found in every opportunity, every moment. Every moment there's more perfection, opportunity for more perfection to come forth through you, with you, around you, for you. This life is a gift. I encourage you, learn how to flow. Allow yourself to adapt to what is true for you in the now. But know who you are and don't betray you. Stay true to you, to the truth. Well, get to know you. That's my offering. If you can get to know you by the observation, I'm no longer part of the world of doing. I'm more focused on my state of being. And if you can focus more on your state of being than your world of doing, you'll spend time and find openness. You'll create an openness for yourself, for peace to be found. And that's part of this emotional healing too. In order to flow, you got to heal. And in order to heal, sometimes you got to create space within yourself so those unresolved emotions can be flow, right? Safely. Finally. Allow what's backed up to get out, be released in a healthy way in your confidence of you. And you can always overcome your stress with this simple reminder. There's another way of looking. There's another way of seeing things. There's another way of looking at things. And that simple practice, brothers and sisters, that simple reminder can transform your life. Experiential alchemy, transform that which was ugly and dull and mundane, that which was painful and worthless. Refine it, redefine it, see it a different way. Draw from the poor, the mundane, draw from it the essence, the beauty, the uniqueness. The true gem of you is within you. And maybe it's yet to be discovered. So, brothers and sisters, today I will sleep again at night in comfort and gratitude that I am where I am, at least for a couple more weeks. But please do the subscribe thing, hit the notifications, and stay tuned because life is life. We never know what the future is going to bring. Thank you again, and choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.